Project 2025 has been used as this boogeyman for a long time now, or this straw man of Donald Trump. This is what they attack. They don't actually attack Trump's policies because Trump's policies are actually really good. They don't want people to understand that Trump is actually trying to do things that will help Americans. They can't do that because, of course, that would be bad for the Democrats. They want to make Trump look bad. So, well, to quote Nancy Pelosi, a wrap up schmear. That's what she called it. And I'll play the video of her saying this, where they make up a lie, feed it to the media runs with it, and then they use the articles that have come out by the media as like to legitimize the original argument that they were using or the story that they were using, right? That's what this is. It's just it's a real thing. I don't be mistaken. Project 2025 is something that's out there. It does exist. It is this conservative religious group that it's called the Heritage. It's called Heritage. This is it. The Heritage Foundation. These are the people that put Project 2025 together. And I'll just read to you what Heritage Foundation claims to be, right? Or what they are. Every day, the Heritage Foundation is building an America where freedom, opportunity, prosperity, and civil society flourish. Heritage's mission is to formulate and promote public policies based on principles of free enterprise, limited government, individual freedom, traditional American values, and a strong national defense. I mean, on the surface, it's pretty good. Honestly, it seems pretty great. Then here we go again, providing solutions. They really do put out solutions. Some people don't agree with those solutions, but we'll get to that. Researching, developing, and promoting innovative solutions. Number 2, mobilizing conservatives, uniting the conservative movement to work together. I think that's actually really important. Training leaders, preparing future generations who will lead America. Again, it's all good stuff. I like it, right? I mean, sounding pretty good to me. Now more than ever, the American people need a champion to preserve the great American experiment and everything good and just that it represents. That's why the Heritage Foundation exists. We champion policy solutions that benefit all Americans. But Heritage is also much more than a think tank. Every day, Heritage works in our nation's capital to build an America where freedom, opportunity, prosperity, and civil society flourish. But unlike so many other organizations in Washington, D.C., the Heritage Foundation's focus isn't on putting more power into the hands of government. It's on returning power to the people. That's why we don't work on behalf of any special interest or political party. Instead, our commitment is to the American people. And the more than 10 million members, advocates, and concerned Americans who support us. Heritage's world-renowned experts, deeply experienced in business, government, the military, nonprofits, academia, and communications, spend each day developing innovative solutions to the issues America faces, from empowering parents in education, reversing growing spending and inflation, and protecting the unborn, to securing America's borders, countering the threat of communist China, or just communist, let's just be real, holding big tech accountable, and ensuring free and fair elections. Heritage is on the front lines in the fight to help Americans thrive. Our team then takes these solutions directly to decision makers in government to turn ideas into action. Heritage has been consistently ranked the #1 think tank in the world for it. I'll be honest though, I had never heard of them before this. Granted, I feel like I'm still new in the political landscape. I know I've been doing this for 4 years, but I don't just do politics. It's not necessarily what I do. I'm aware of politics. I do read a lot about and follow a lot of political pundits that I think are trustworthy. I mean, to the level that anyone on the internet is trustworthy, right? But reading through this, it doesn't seem that bad, right? this just feels like the conservative version of what I think most institutions are for Democrats, because it is weighted way in the Democrats' favor. It feels like they have almost all the institutions. It reminds me of there's a node map of where donations come from. Have you seen this? I just thought of this right now, so I don't have it up to show you right now, but I can describe it fairly easily. When someone donates to a Democrat or a Republican, a node map showing where this money comes from, Democrat versus Republican, the Republicans get maybe 3 groups total that only give money to them. There's a lot of like purple in the middle, but the amount of institutions that only give money to Democrats is astounding. It is like 95 to 1 or 95% only to Democrats. That's like the majority of institutions. Colleges, what am I trying to think of? All sorts of different institutions, basically. It's unions. That's what I couldn't think of. Yeah, the different unions, like maybe the police union. I think maybe be one of the ones that goes Republican, but it's crazy the amount of weight of money that's behind the Democrats versus the Republicans, or I don't even want to say Republicans, because I do believe that there is a uniparty that just kind of chooses behind the scene how they control stuff. Whereas like the MAGA party, the Americans that are trying to regain sovereignty, right? That's what I think Trump represents. That's what I think MAGA represents. It's make America sovereign again, really. Although it doesn't sound good when you instead of MAGA, massa, different connotation. But anyway, let's move on. So one of the main things that this is around is Project 2025. That's what the Democrats, that's what these liberals, the Kamala Harris and Biden have been basically saying, this is what's wrong with Trump. This is what Trump's nightmare. This is what we're going to live with if Trump gets back in power. It all comes from this book called The Mandate for Leadership, The Conservative Promise. Okay? And it's Project 2025's Mandate for Leadership, The Conservative Promise. Now this is very long. It's a book, right? It's a full-on book. I'll be honest, I didn't read this. It's 400 something pages. 700 pages. Okay, 700 pages. But I know a lot of the bullet points, okay? And I mean, you could see when you look up Project 2025, you know what pops up? Joe Biden's website. This is the top right here. It's not Trump's website. In fact, you can't even, I searched through both the Project 2025 book and the Heritage website for Trump's name. Never pops up. Not once. Because he's not a part of this. It's something completely separate. In fact, it does pop up when they're talking about Trump, but they're saying when we get Trump in, we want to enact this to help him win and help him when he's in power, right? It's just a reference to him, but nowhere on the Heritage website Trump is mentioned at all. So when you look at this, obviously, like, look at the way this shows Project 2025. This looks like a bad movie. Roll back freedoms, national abortion ban, abolish checks and balances. Oh my gosh. It really is hyperbolic. It's so crazy. Let's go over it. Look at this. Trump's plan, immediately a lie. Right? See, they're using that. It's Trump's plan to take your power, your control, and your money. Dude, it's so bad. The lies are it's just I can't even believe it. at this point. It's actually surprising how bad this is. Donald Trump's plan for a full government takeover has been exposed. Scroll down to see what's in it for yourself and tell your friends. His Project 2025 agenda would strip away our freedoms. It includes a plan hatched by people who used to work for Donald Trump that focuses on the first 180 days. Okay. They really want to drill home that it's Trump's plan. Like, this is his idea, this is his agenda, which is not. And that is, it's immediately just, it's almost annoying how much they push that it's his, right? So this, they reference the book that I showed you, Project 2025, the Mandate for Leadership, right? This is from the Heritage Foundation. They're the ones who put this out because this is what they believe is the solutions. They put out this book. This is the solutions to for what they think is the problems with the government. Okay? It's not Trump's plan. All right? Trump has nothing to do with it. I'm going to say that many times throughout this, I think. Okay. 180-day playbook. The time is short and conservatives need a plan. The project will create a playbook of actions to be taken in the first 180 days of the new administration to bring quick relief to Americans suffering from the left's devastating policies. It's pretty funny how this almost turns out to be an ad for the right. The plan begins with a sweeping takeover of the federal government to consolidate power under Donald Trump. Inside pages of dense policy proposals, their intentions become clear. Now, just look at the way that they worded that. Sweeping takeover of the federal government, the full federal government, to consolidate power under Donald Trump. Again, it's all hyperbolic. Just read what it says here. Mr. Trump and his associates have a broader goal to alter the balance of power by increasing the president's authority over every part of the federal government that now operates by... Okay, no, this is actually a misrepresentation because this is from the New York Times. In the Project 2025, what it actually is saying is the executive branch only, the leader of the executive branch, which would be the president, would have say over everyone in the executive branch. So, you know about the people that stay in their positions, these government workers that they don't get elected, they're just working there. They're behind the scenes. This is like when you think about the swamp in the government, this would be the grass. This would be the water. This would be the parasites living in the water, or like the dirt at the muck at the bottom, right? You can't just like empty the water and put clean water in because the muck remains. The parasites are all still there. It's not just the water that's dirty. It's all sorts of different things that are all combined. And these people remain in power. And I say in power because they really do have a lot of say. They have a lot of influence. They can choose not to provide the president information that might be vital for him to do his job. Sound familiar? Well, that's because it is. In fact, Trump was in power and had people were holding information from him, including General Milley, whatever. The guy lost a war and has more decoration on his chest than Eisenhower. It's really an embarrassment when you look at it that way. Anyway, this is, of course, the New York Times not being specific with what this actually means here. What the Heritage Foundation was trying to say was the president should be able to choose if someone isn't trustworthy, I'm going to replace you. Or the president should be able to replace them. When they say consolidating power, it's consolidating power of the executive branch. It has nothing to do with the judicial or the congressional. 3 branches of government, checks and balances. So to bring it back, now that we know that, this is what they say, but that's what it actually says in there, right? So they're taking it and making it seem like it's so much worse than it actually is. Reminder, This isn't even Trump's plan. This has nothing to do with Trump. Trump never even came up with any of this stuff. This is all the Heritage Foundation, who are thinking this is probably the best way forward to fix things. They're probably right, because there is a lot of bloat in the government. If you were listening to Elon Musk and Donald Trump talk on Monday, they were talking exactly about the gluttony of the government and how much overspending that they're doing. And I mean, Twitter was super inflated, and Elon came in and fired 80% of the company, and it's running better than ever. It's amazing. Okay, let's move on. Project 2025 is a plan to seize power within the federal government. No quote, no reference to anything. This is just opinion. This is what they're saying. This is what they're claiming. First, they'd make it easier to fire nonpartisan government employees, like they attempted to do at the end of Trump administration. I just explained it to you. That's exactly what that is a reference to. Reissue Trump's Schedule F executive order to permit discharge of non-performing employees. Again, this is from the mandate of leadership, and they're choosing to pick what this means. Trump was trying to get rid of the people that were, it says non-performant, but I think not trustworthy. The people that were working against the sitting president. Those people should be fired. They should be discharged. And then they'd replace them with politically appointed Trump loyalists. Okay. Let me just read what it says here. The modern conservative president's task is to limit, control, and direct the executive branch. Makes sense? The great challenge confronting a conservative president is the existential need for aggressive use of the vast powers of the executive branch. Success in meeting that challenge will require a rare combination of boldness and self-denial. Boldness to bend or break the bureaucracy to the president's will. Well, people were calling Trump a bull in a china shop, but he really wasn't able to do that because of the bureaucracy that he was dealing with. So that's exactly what that executive order would have been. It would have been him to be able to actually go, you've been here since Obama. In fact, Obama hired you, didn't he? Wow. I don't trust you to do your job or give me information. I mean, he had 4 years and saw and probably found out and probably knows that there's a lot of people that didn't give him all the proper information, because we're finding out from the public that happened. Imagine what Trump actually knows. And then they'd end the independence of the Department of Justice and FBI. Conservatives have long believed in either ending law enforcement activities of independent agencies or ending their independent status. Okay, I'll be honest. On this one, I like it. I'm not even upset with this one, guys. This one's fantastic. End the alphabet agencies, these independent agencies. They act outside of the law. They do whatever the hell they want. I mean, hell, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, where we're finding out that the Secret Service basically was negligent, and it looks like they knew that they were lax in how much protection that Trump needed to nearly be assassinated. Okay? These, you don't think that they did that on purpose? Come on. The CIA, the FBI investigated itself and found nothing wrong. Yeah. Bullshit. Okay? Now, I'm sure there's good agents in the FBI. Sure. But at the top, the people in control, no, I don't think so. So I'm all about that. Yeah, good. This is great news. And turn them into enforcement arms of the White House. Notice how they kept that separate? Look at this. The next consecutive administration must make every effort to obtain the resources to support a vast expansion of the number of appointees in every office and component across department, especially in the Civil Rights Division, the FBI, and the EOIR. This would also place the FBI under politically accountable leader. Do you see how different of a statement that is to what they just said? turn them into an enforcement arm of the White House? Do they not see what's going on right now? The White House is using these agencies as their enforcement arm right now. Literally at this moment. They've been trying to go after Trump for freaking a year, 2 years. This is insane. It's actually happening, and they're saying they're trying to fearmonger to the people that believe this shit that Trump is going to do that. It's like, what? The projection, it's so bright, it will blind you. It's happening right now. This is from Reuters. You like how they're mixing and matching to really drive home what they're trying to sell you. Some of Donald Trump's allies are... Who the fuck? Who? What does that mean? Some of Donald Trump's... I'm an ally. Anyone can say they're a Donald Trump ally. That's bullshit. Some of Donald Trump's allies are assembling proposals to curtail the Justice Department's independence and turn the nation's top law enforcement body into the attack dog for conservative causes. 9 people involved in the effort told Reuters. My gosh. Yeah, the janitor, the window cleaner, this is so ridiculous. All while Trump has immunity from crimes committed in office thanks to a ruling from his Supreme Court picks. So does Biden. And Biden's the one actually doing this shit. Project 2025 is a plan to give MAGA extremists control over your life. Oh, here we go. All right, another blanket statement that has no proof. Here we go. Trump and his Project 2025 allies, see, this is them. It's not his. I have to just say it over and over again because it's not. Overturned Roe v. Wade and unleashed extreme abortion bans across the country. Now they'll go even further. Even I looked into this. Even in the states where abortion is banned outright, just like no abortions, they still have exceptions for the life of the mother, which is one of their main arguments. Well, what about entropic pregnancies? It's like you're trying to kill women. It's like, no. Even in the states with the most extreme abortion laws, it is accepted for the life of the mother. And I think there might be a few states that this isn't true, but for the most part, the abortion ban states even have exemptions for incest and rape. So it's like there's a few states that are like very much abortion's illegal, but still, unless the health of the mother is affected, they'll implement a 50-state backdoor ban on abortions without Congress and jail healthcare providers. Oh, goodness. Announcing a campaign to enforce the criminal prohibitions in 18 U.S. Code 1461 and 1462. Project 2025 would resurrect a law from the 1800s called the Comstock Act to ban abortion nationwide and jail healthcare providers. Again, this is just part of the Project 2025. I don't agree with that. It's hard for me to even say that right now because I have gone full into the camp of abortion is murder. But I do understand that if they know it's going to kill the woman, that's which life is more precious. It's kind of that's a weird, I don't know. That's a gray area that I it's the trolley problem with the mother or the child, and I think that's really hard. I don't know how to answer that myself, and I hope that nobody ever has to live in that situation. I mean, I'm about to have a child. It could be days. It could be now. She could come up and be like, it's time right now. And if that happened, I don't know. I would be lost. I would be devastated. But again, this is just this plan from from the Heritage Organization. This has nothing to do with Trump. The Kaiser Family Foundation. Don't take our word for it. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, a literal interpretation of the Comstock Act could potentially also apply to materials used to produce all abortions, not just medical abortions, but would not have exceptions and could affect other medical care such as miscarriage management. This is all just fear mongering. It's picking and choosing to be able to attack Trump relentlessly based on stuff that has nothing to do with him. And they'll ban abortion medication, which is also used in a range of ways to protect women's health. Abortion pills pose the single greatest threat to unborn children in a post-Roe world. The FDA should reverse its approval of chemical abortion drugs. I I hate abortion. I hate it. I think it's terrible. I think it is murder. I've it took me a long time to reach that point. Now that I've been with my wife and we've had a baby come to full term and I'm about to meet him, I I man, I know these moments throughout the pregnancy that feels like the kid has been here. He's already part of my life. He's already there. And these Democrats, Tim Walz, for example, the VP pick for Kamala Harris, you know, it, that state has like, well, I mean, we'll see what you want to do after the baby's born. What? Like, this is insane. These kind of attitudes. I think abortion's terrible. Outlawing murder? New concept. I mean, that's basically what this is. It's outlawing murder. I don't see what's wrong with that. I think they use aborted tissue. I think they need it for something. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think so. And deep down I fear that maybe my past was used. That's part of the reason why it was so tough for me to face it. I don't know. I don't want it to be true, but I don't know. But I fear that. They'll force states to report women's miscarriages and abortions to Trump's federal government. Again, this is Project 2025. Would use every available tool, including the cutting of funds, to force states to report miscarriages and exactly how many abortions take place within its borders, including the reason for every abortion. I think this is a little. I I don't think Project 2025 is right 100%. I think there is some things that are solid and other things that are extreme, like this. Reporting to the federal government, like, no. You stated in the Heritage, the foundation said less government, okay? And then you said your solutions is reporting all these things to the government. No. So, you're losing, you lose me on it, right? So they've said some things that make sense. They've also are going way too far. They'll put limits on contraception access. The president should eliminate the week after pill from the contraceptive mandate as a potential abortifacient. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Allows employers to deny workers access to birth control coverage. I mean, I think you should pay for your own birth control. If you're going to be on birth control, I don't think employers should have to pay for that. I think that's kind of ridiculous. It also calls for defunding Planned Parenthood, which provides access to contraception for over 2 million women each year. I mean, Planned Parenthood, isn't that Margaret Sanger who started that? Margaret Sanger, she's the one who started it, right? She's the one, the racist one who was trying to keep the population of the black citizens down. That's Margaret Sanger, the one who wanted to increase the amount of abortions that the black population did. And how many black babies have been aborted? I mean, just the black population has been decimated. Sanger? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, that one? Huh. Yeah. But they love Democrats, don't they? And then rip away President Biden's protections for a woman's right to life-saving medical care. They know what a woman is, I guess. The president should reverse distorted pro-abortion interpretations added to the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act. Just another page out of Project 2025. They'll enable discrimination against LGBTQ plus Americans. When I read this, I shout out to the person who kept saying Prop 16, Prop 16, Prop 16. Because Kamala Harris, voted to allow discrimination in California when she was senator. Kamala Harris did that. But here they're saying that Trump is going to do it. Trump wants to enable discrimination against the gay population. Well, against the queers, because I feel like the LGB are now separate from the TQs. Let's be real. There is a difference. I feel like most gay people can't stand the queers and the trans. I think that they hijacked their whole movement. They achieved what they wanted, but oh boy, they needed to use that. That's why they kept slapping another letter on it. Every month there's like a new letter attached. Rescind regulations prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, transgender status, and sex characteristics. The president should direct agencies to rescind regulations interpreting sex discrimination provisions as prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, transgender status, and sexual characteristics. It's just crazy. The fact that they're acting like that's something that's really bad when Kamala Harris herself voted for this shit when she had the ability to vote on it. California Proposition 16, repeal Proposition 209, affirmative action amendment. A yes vote supported this constitutional amendment to repeal Proposition 209, which stated that the government and public institutions cannot discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to persons on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in public employment, public education, or public contracting. Kamala Harris voted for that. And now they're telling their own voter base that this is what Trump is going to do. He's going to make it legal to discriminate. This is what you wanted. Yeah, of course, obviously, they're going to use it to discriminate against normal people. You know, maybe if you're too white, right? The comedian, Tyler, God, he's hilarious. I can't believe it. I can't think of his name right now. What is his name? You guys know him? He was in that cowboy movie with Gina Carano. He does an amazing Fauci. He does a great Jordan Peterson. Help me out, chat. What's his name? Tyler something. It's bugging me. Fisher. Thank you, Carnell. Tyler Fisher. Hilarious. The dude's great, right? He was told, oh, we have enough white guys in the industry right now. Sorry. What? What do you mean? The dude is hilarious. What does him being white have anything to do with it? Oh, right. But they can't say that publicly. Of course, I think he's got a lawsuit going on. I hope so. He should. He should sue the shit out of them. Because this is crazy. This is what they want. But this is what they're claiming that Trump's going to do. Wow. And no, this is what they are doing. Now, they're specifically talking about transgender shit. And it's like, yeah. I mean, if you're born a dude with XY chromosomes, you're always going to be a dude. Period. You can't change that. But if you're if you're born a girl, you're always going to be a girl. That's it. There's no changing that. As much as they think that's hate or whatever, it's not discrimination. It's just recognizing mental illness. Oh, it gets more. It will cut taxes for Trump and his rich friends and pad their profits. Another page. The corporate income tax should be reduced to 18%. I mean, let's be real though. I think that's fine and all if we actually are able to tax them. Just look at Amazon. Bezos doesn't pay taxes. He doesn't get a salary. He just keeps taking loans out and then takes a bigger loan and then a bigger loan. And he just keeps taking a bigger loan. That's it. That's all he does. He just takes loans out whenever he needs money and then with the bigger loan, pays back his previous loan. Never pays a cent in taxes at all. Amazon, remember, one of the biggest companies on the planet? Yeah, Jeff Bezos doesn't pay taxes. Insane. Maybe we should worry about actually taxing these people. Elon Musk happily pays taxes. He talks about it. He said I'm pretty sure he paid more in taxes than any single person in history. And Bezos is the opposite. He uses the system. Trump talked about it back in 2016. He says, yeah, I know it's rigged. I use the system. Chappelle has a great skit about this because Trump came out and said it and they were like, wow. I mean, that you don't hear them talk like that. That's why Trump resonates with a lot of people, because he's not accepted in their groups, but he's got the money and uses the systems that they use for themselves and tells everyone about it. I mean, if we knew about a system, wouldn't you want to use it? Yeah, of course. And cut taxes for wealthy families, offset by tax hikes on the middle class families. My gosh, he had a freaking long conversation with Elon Musk on Monday about inflation hitting families and wanting to bring down the cost for everyone. Everyone was doing great under Trump. This is insane how they are trying to convince their base with what I mean, let's be real. The people who are reading this that believe this, they already hate Trump. They're already voting for Democrats. This isn't all this is doing is adding more ammo to the people that hate Trump in their belief that this is Trump's plan when it is not. We're almost done with this. All it is would restructure the tax code to benefit wealthy families. I mean, that's just. And then, of course, CBS News. I'm not even gonna go there. It's so stupid. These lines are all from this book. That, I mean, it goes on and on. I'm sick of it. I just got to show you. Look, Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social back in July. Okay, because the ramp up to showing that this Project 2025 was Trump's whole thing, and we're gonna attack him for this because it's so bad. It's all blah 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 blah. I know nothing about Project 2025. I have no idea who is behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them. Oh, well, that would have ended it, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that have just ended it? Let me just quickly check Kamala Harris's page right here. Just have a little look-see, huh? Oh, Social Security, huh? Wow. He wants to end tax on Social Security. That's pretty fantastic. Oh, what's this? The third thing? Wow. Look at this. This election is about which direction our country is going in. Donald Trump's Project 2025 agenda will take us backward. We will not let him win. This is it. They're just pushing this over and over and over again because they need people to believe it. Okay? Let me show you something. All right? This is Nancy Pelosi. Okay? We know her. We can't stand her. She's just the worst. Well, here's Nancy Pelosi, and I'll just let her speak for herself.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest.
Project 2025, which isn't necessarily a falsehood, because it is actually from the Heritage Organization. It's not Trump, though. But the smear is the fact that they're saying it's Trump's agenda, right?
And then you merchandise it.
That tweet I just showed you from Kamala Harris, merchandising.
And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report.
You know what? Just real quick. I just real quick. Let me just go back to Joe Biden's website real quick, and let me just oh, look, CBS News reporting on it. CBS News. And then who else? Oh yeah, the Kaiser Foundation, Reuters. Oh, look at all these media, New York Times. Look at them all just reporting. Oh no, we're just reporting on Trump's 2020 plan agenda that is going to roll back all of our freedoms. No, it's bullshit coming out of the Democrats to try to convince their base that Trump is the big bag boogeyman and not to look into his policies. Just look here. We'll show you everything you need to see to hate Trump. That's what it is. That's why they were so afraid of that conversation between Trump and Elon Musk, because they had just a candid conversation about all the things that would probably make America great again. Really, that's how simple it was. And just the way that all these freaking, like, just look at this. Progressive.org. Why Trump can't disavow his support for 2025. What do you mean? What do you mean he can't? Here's Trump disavowing Project 2025. He literally is disavowing it. He's saying he has nothing to do with it. Huh? What? This was 2 days ago. This was yesterday. This is a month ago. A month and a half ago. What? This is what they're pushing. This is the kind of shit that they want people to believe. It's all bullshit. Project 2025 does exist. There's a book that you could read all of this plan from the Heritage Foundation for what they see as the way out into the vision of America that they believe in. Some of the ideas, yeah, make sense. Some of them are crazy. Some of them are authoritarian, that kind of blows the idea that they want smaller government out of the water because of how ridiculous that is. So there it is. Wow. I forgot about this wiki page. I just want to show you. Look at this. Project 2025. Not to be confused with Donald Trump's package of proposals, Agenda 47. Wikipedia actually being accurate in their reporting, saying that it's not Donald Trump's package. That's pretty, I mean, let's be real. Who was expecting that? I don't think anyone was expecting that. I certainly wasn't. This is, they're calling it out. It's the Heritage Foundation, promote conservative and right-wing policies to reshape the United States government and consolidate power if Trump wins. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much is actually fairly accurate. I was so shocked when I saw that Wikipedia, I know Wikipedia actually reported it correctly. What Project 2025 was? That it wasn't Trump's plan. It's not. Agenda 47 is what he calls his plan, his agenda. And again, to be fair, they said not to be confused with Project 2025, effort coordinated by the Heritage Foundation. I mean, credit where credit's due. Wikipedia, they could. Now that you pointed out, they're going to change it. Damn it. You're probably right. So there it is. I mean, it's the wrap up schmear, right? But just put a little cherry on top, I'm just gonna give you a little. This is great. From the Gateway Pundit says, fact check: Harris campaign admit it lied about Trump. Huh? Really? July 28th, huh? What do you think it lied about? See, the Harris campaign has repeatedly tried to falsely tie President Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, to the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, earning the campaign fact checks from multiple organizations. Huh. Really? Wow. Look at that. At a rally in Wisconsin on Tuesday, Harris criticized Trump and his extreme Project 2025 agenda. Harris then said, "Can you believe they put that thing in writing? Read it. It's 900 pages. But here's the thing. When you read it, you will see Donald Trump intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations and make working families foot the bill. They intend to end the Affordable Care Act and take us back then to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. This is despite the fact that Trump himself had publicly distanced himself, outright denied, and pointed out that his platform is called Agenda 47. There he is again. This is a different statement, actually, weeks later. Says, I have nothing to do with and know nothing about Project 2025. The fact that I do is merely disinformation and put out by the radical left Democrat thugs. Do not believe them. This is straight up lying. Harris is straight up bullshitting, completely lying to her base. It is every single part of that is a lie. She's quoting, it's 900 pages. It's that book that I told you about, right? Mandate for Leadership, The Conservative Promise, which has nothing to do with Trump at all. But then she immediately goes, you will see Donald Trump plans to do all these things. And even still, those are shifted from what the Heritage Foundation said they are to what she thinks will make people in the crowd the most upset about it. Absolutely insane. CNN, of all places, fact-checked the Harris campaign and noted that the Harris campaign has made a deliberate decision to brand all of Trump's policies as Project 2025. That right there is so a CNN fact check too. Look at the way that they word that. Whoa, we were going to have to fact check this. The truth is, guys, Kamala Harris has just branded all of Trump's policies as Project 2025. No, bitch. She's claiming that Project 2025 is Trump's agenda. That gosh, that's basically telling their viewers that, oh, well, I mean, they still are his, that's still his agenda then, right? Because she's just using the phrase Project 2025 to describe Trump's agenda. That's such a bullshit fact check. My goodness. Rob Bluey from the Daily Signal points out another fact check article published Wednesday by Verify, a website devoted to stopping the spread of false information, debunked a myth that Project 2025 called for the elimination of individualized education plans, commonly known as IEPs. Goodness sakes. I mean, who gives a shit what Project 2025 is about anyway? Trump is the one that's running. It's his policies. I mean, Kamala should be running on her policies, but no, she's running on Trump is bad. Trump is going to usher forward Project 2025. That's literally her policies, right? It's absolutely insane. I just want to get to the next part. Hold on. Reporter Ben Domenech took to social media to chastise the Harris campaign for trying to falsely tie VP nominee J.D. Vance to Project 2025. The Harris campaign is falsely representing this interview, which took place before Vance even announced a run for the Senate and years before Project 2025 even existed. I know this because I'm the interviewer. Oh my gosh, hilarious. In a stunning new leak, JD Vance completely endorses Project 2025. Donald Trump can't run from this now. Retweet so all Americans can see this. It's all just bullshit. Okay? They're using the actual Project 2025, twisting it, cherry picking all these different bad things that they can't stand, and then shifting the perspective on it and changing the words around a little bit to make it seem even worse, and slapping that on that it's Trump and Trump's gonna do all of this stuff. So there you go. I hope you understand a little bit more about this Project 2025 thing that's going on. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You better smash that.